Hey everybody, welcome to Worried to Wealthy. Today we're going to be going over my favorite dividend ETF, VIG, the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation Index. I will also be going over why I don't like SCHD, although I do respect that performance and it has outperformed VIG. And then we're going to go and do a dividend income update because we got some nice juicy dividends. So without further ado, let's go into it. And if you like this channel, if you want to see more, please subscribe and like this. I really appreciate. I love seeing. I see the views are actually starting to trend up now. Um, and so yeah, I'd really appreciate it. Comment if you want to see anything different. But let's get into it. So, VIG is my favorite fund. I really like things that pay me. So, for example, like I really like real estate because you get that monthly cash flow. If you couldn't really retire, for example, let's say in a theoretical world where you had $1 million in Google, which is a great company, I think, or Bitcoin, right? But you couldn't sell. Well, you would still have to work because you have to pay your mortgage or your food or whatever it may be. Obviously, in the real world, you could just sell, but trying to time when to sell those companies is pretty hard. So I like to stick to these companies that pay dividends. And so VIG invests in companies that that have raised their dividends consecutively for 10 years or more. And some of these companies have paid for, or excuse me, they've increased their dividends for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, sometimes even 5 decades long. So they've gone through everything from the dot-com crash. They've gone through '08, they've gone through 9/11, they've gone through so many different things, and they've continued to increase their dividend, which I love. So if you go through here, one of the things that I like to look at is dividend growth. And over the past 10 years, it's like that old Verizon commercial, raising the bar. It constantly increases dividend. It's not guaranteed. I think if a couple really low yielding, like for example, Apple, if they really got into the top, it'd probably lower the yield. But it's not to say that the companies are not increasing their dividends. Here's if I go through here, the dividend growth. So on here in 2013 something happened. I wasn't really investing in 2013, but it looks like it was like minus 1.5%. I think that's like a blip on the radar. But the real big stress test was '08 and '09. So in '07 the crash kind of started. Ignore this is when the fun began, so this is just saying that, so I would ignore this. But in 2008 it actually grew from 87 to a buck oh 02, and a 17% increase. And that's when 2008 was an absolute negative year. And 2009 is when it finally broke, and some companies, it looks like they stopped increasing their dividends. um, at the end of the day, that's not really that big of a deal. I think in '08, '09, a lot of people lost their jobs and they went from, making $50,000 to zero. And if you're making $50,000 from this fund, well, you'd probably go down to about 47,500 because you'd lose about $2,500 if you had a 5% decrease. And then from there, it really, I mean, the next year, you're already making more than you were in '08. So you've already caught back up, which is really, really cool. And something that I love to look at is what this ETF holds. If you look at the portfolio composition, the holdings is what I was actually really looking for. We already know all these companies. Microsoft has Xbox and they sell computers. Um, Apple, they have, iPhones, computers, they have AirPods, they have a whole bunch of different things. United Health Group, that is a healthcare company. I don't know their products very much, but stock's been doing well. ExxonMobil is a gas company, so every time someone fills up their car with gas from ExxonMobil, there's a dividend. Anytime that someone buys Listerine or Band-Aids, I know I definitely buy Band-Aids from time to time, you're getting a dividend. And Johnson Johnson, they sell so many different products that it's a really nice, diverse portfolio. I bank with JP Morgan Chase, so anytime they make money on like a loan, when they loan out money, we're going to get a little bit in the dividend. Visa, every time someone uses their credit card, Procter and Gamble is very similar essentially to Johnson and Johnson. They have a lot of products in their portfolio. Broadcom, Mastercard is another one with credit cards. And I was doing this the other day, and it's really interesting. All these companies, Home Depot's now. Anytime someone fixes a sprinkler at their own home or puts in new floors, anytime they're doing it themselves or contractors are doing it for them, frankly, go to Home Depot. Merck is in the medical field. Pepsi and Coca-Cola, love these. Anytime someone takes a sip of soda, or especially with Pepsi, they also own Lay's and I think Sun Chips actually now. I was looking at the back of a bag one time. So this is just feeding America. Obviously not the best food for you, but I mean, Americans keep buying it. Costco, I love Costco. Costco always has good deals, and they actually sell other Dividend aristocrats products. Like they sell Coke. They might sell Pepsi. I know they sell Starbucks, for example. They have people use Visa cards. Um, so yeah, I mean this one, I love this. McDonald's, every time someone eats a burger. Walmart's never going anywhere, at least not for a long time. Cisco, I mean tech companies use their systems all the time. I don't know Accenture all that much. Abbott. So Abbott and AbbVie, you guys should start looking closer at the TV screen when you'll see advertisements. At least I do, and a lot of medication is from Abbott and AbbVie. Let's go to page 3. Lindy, I think, is a gas corporation. Comcast, every time you get screwed on your internet bill, like myself, at least I feel like I do. Oracle, tech companies use them. Texas Instrument, I had a calculator that had Texas Instrument. I'm not exactly sure if they make that, but if they do, I once paid for their products. Next Era Energy is a electricity company. So when people pay their electricity bill, you're getting a dividend. I live in a state that has Excel energy, and so anytime I pay my electricity bill, I probably get a penny back out of it or something. Probably not even that, but I'm getting money back, and every time someone pays an electricity bill, I'm getting a dividend in a sense. This is a gas company, Nike. We all know Nike. Anytime someone buys a shoe, someone buys I mean, I'm wearing their shorts right now. Honeywell, they do everything from thermostats in your home to defense contracting. Qualcomm does chips. They used to do Apple, I think. Lowe's is just like Home Depot. Anytime someone's fixing up their home, and people do it all the time. People buy fertilizer every year for their lawns. So, and they've been raising their dividends for almost 50 years now. There's a lot more companies than you think that have been raising their dividends for that long of a time. I don't know that one too much. UPS, every time I order, something on Amazon, boom, there's a little bit of a dividend. This is a railroad company. Don't know into it too much. There might be with taxes or something. Starbucks, anytime anyone takes a sip of a latte or they're eating one of their breakfast sandwiches, boom, we're getting a dividend. So you can see all these different companies, and as you go down, you're gonna realize less and less. But these are boring companies that continue to make cash flow for us, which I absolutely love. And again, the dividend growth is really what I love to see. Only losing 5% instead of half. A lot of companies cut their dividends back then. And that's kind of a nice segue into SCHD. SCHD is honestly a great fund and is outperformed VIG, to be frank. And you can also look, you actually have a lot of similar holdings. Merck was in there, UPS was in there, Cisco, PepsiCo, our calculator company, Home Depot's Coca-Cola. A lot of it's in there. As you can see, though, I have a couple of these picked out. And where there's one, there's probably more. A lot of these, at the top are good companies. But for example, Ford Motor. So I actually went in here and I looked and I said, okay, why? Ford Motor Company, I'm pretty sure they cut their dividend in 2020. And so I looked and I was right. And so I go down here and it says growth rate 175%. Well, that's a fantastic growth rate. Well, it is and it isn't. And the reason why it's so much of a big growth rate is because it was so small for a year ago. So you look here in 2016, it's kind of like a downward trend towards, and obviously 2020 was crazy, but you kind of get the gist is that it's just been kind of on a downward trend. And now, since everything looks like it's going better, it's starting to go back up. So that's what I thought was really interesting is that SCHD is investing in companies that don't have stable and increasing dividends. A lot of them are actually, but not all of them. Another one I found, I don't even know what this company does, frankly. The Buckle. Not too sure. But if you go down here to the dividend growth, it is wild and sporadic. Imagine trying to pay a mortgage when it's just going up and down. You'll feel rich this year and then you can't pay the next year. So for me, I'm out on SCHD. I used to own it. And again, it's had fantastic and better returns than my favorite VIG. But frankly, I like investing in companies that increase their dividend year after year. And if you don't, you get kicked out. And it's pretty simple on that. So now it's time for our dividend update. I'm going to go into here, into my dividend tracker, and I'm going to start adding in. I haven't found a way to edit my videos yet, so it doesn't show my personal information. So I'm just going to pull it up on here. And by the way, guys, as I do this, and I just went through and showed you my favorite stuff, this is meant to be entertainment. I'm not obviously a financial advisor. If it wasn't obvious, I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I'm just someone who does this on the side, and I want to, you know, become financially independent. So please treat this as entertainment. Please do your own research. I'm not an advisor, and I do say that not only to protect myself, but to protect you as well. And the reason why I say that is because if you know what you're holding, you're less likely to sell when a downturn hits. So you'd be like, you know what, I know this is a good business, it'll pop back up versus, oh my God, someone told me to buy this and I'm not really sure now. And now it's at, negative 30%, or minus 30%. It's like, oh my God, I have to sell. When you know what you own, you're more likely to hold on during those difficult times. So without further ado, we're going to go into Robinhood. I'll actually post a link too. If you guys aren't in Robinhood and would like to join, I think I get a free stock and you get a free stock. So we can help each other get richer there. But I'm going to go into here first. So on June 6th, I received a dividend from BND. Now that's the bond ETF with a bunch of different bonds in there. You can look that up and I can do another video on there. I got 1 cent from Jeppy because I kind of wanted a bunch of dividend investors love it. I don't know options, so I don't like to invest in what I don't know. I follow Warren Buffett on that. So I put literally $1 in there to see and kind of track it over time and maybe get more familiar with it. I got $3.83 from ETF VIL. That's where Ray Dalio puts some money into. It pretty much never makes or loses any money. It just creates interest sometimes. And that's what I've noticed too is that Kevin O'Leary, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, all these guys have a lot of money in dividend stocks. Not all of it. I mean, Ray Dalio just bought some Meta, but in all honesty, I mean, they have a bunch of money in these dividend paying stocks. And that's something that kind of put a light bulb in my head. If they're investing in it, well, maybe I should too. Um, on June 13th, I got a dividend from DGRO. I recently became a fan of this fund, and I got paid $112.24. Okay, and then on June 23rd, I got paid $64.85 from VXUS. That is the XUS. That's basically every country but the United States of any public company. It's kind of like VTI or not really VU, I guess like VTI, but for the rest of the world. And then here's another one. I got 1 cent, one whopping cent from VIGI. It's basically VIG's international cousin. So it invests in companies that are similar to VIG, but internationally. They only require 7 years of consecutive increases. Not sure why there, but that's what they do. Get plus 6 cents from OUSA. That's Kevin O'Leary's dividend fund. It's a little high in the expense ratio, and I'll have to do it. I'll have to do a video on expense ratios. Very important to watch out for. And then I got from VTI, I got $82.50, and that's every public company that is qualified for. It's not, so you don't invest in penny stocks in that, but pretty much every public company. And then I got 12 cents from DGRW. That's another. I like looking into a lot of these different funds, keeping my options open. And then VIG dividend. So if I go to VIG, it's not listed here. But I go into distributions. So we go down there, that's where it's what they call dividends. And I got paid 77. It's going to be tomorrow. Today's the 29th. So tomorrow's the 30th. Next dividend date. So I'm going to do my amount of shares in my Robinhood first. So I have 658 shares. 658 shares. I have fractional shares. I'll do that later. But times 0.7731. So I'm gonna get about $508. That's nice. We love to see that from VIG. And then also VNQ is gonna pay me a dividend. Go down here. VNQ is really cool. You don't get some of the tax breaks that I'll go into in a later video. But this is a way that you can actually invest in real estate companies, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Perfect. Oh, did I take it back? Let me see. Thank you, dividend history. Boom, right here. So it looks like 90. Click on it real fast. Make sure we're all good to go. So we're going to get 92 cents for every share that I have. And in Robinhood, I have, how many shares do I have? I have 85 shares. Okay, so 85, and then I'll kind of teach you guys how to do the math on this, but 85 shares times 0.9277. So I'm getting about $78 from that. That's $78. Boom. So there's that. Nice. I love to see that. And then also I'm going to go to my Charles Schwab. I actually don't know what the end result of this is, so hopefully we'll hit 1,000. But either way, $853 is a lot. The reason why it's a little bit lower right now than March is because I used to have some BYM and SCHD, which have higher yields. So it does make sense why it's a little bit lower. Income. Got the history of my Charles Schwab. Once I figure out how to edit some videos, I'll be able to show you guys and give you guys proof that this is actually what I have here. Filter for dividends and interest only. And so on my Charles Schwab, on June 7th, I also got paid from BIL for $63. Oh, $66.36. And then I got paid on June 9th, I got paid by a CD, $48.41. Plus, I got 2 cents in interest. Okay, and then I'm holding a little bit. Oh, we're gonna beat it. Oh, I love to see that. Right now I'm actually holding 5 shares of DGRO. So let's do this. DGRO, dividend history. Oh, I'm so happy because I have a lot of shares of VIG in this as well. Okay, on the 7th. Oh, I didn't get paid from DGR because I bought it late. So I guess this is it. So VIG, we'll go back to VIG real fast. 77. So I'll just copy this actually. And then times what I'm holding currently. I'm probably going to sell out of this position, but 5, 6, 9. So I'm getting $439. $439. Boom! I just got paid $1,400 for my dividend. Wow, that for my dividend ETFs and interest and everything. That is a new freaking record, and that is awesome. I'll do a video probably as of why I have some VIG in my Charles Schwab, and like I said earlier, I'm gonna sell out of it because I'm keeping a lot of cash on the sideline. I think I'm gonna continue. I made a video on this on investing when VIX starts to go high. Um, so, anyways, this is freaking awesome. $1,407.10. I can almost pay my rent with that. So that's amazing. If you like this, if you want to keep learning from me, again, the reason why I created From Worried to Wealthy is just because I wish someone else shared their books to me. A lot of times people will say, "Oh, just invest your money, invest in the stock market, invest in real estate." And you're like, "Well, how?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know." And it's like, "Can you show me like what you're doing?" It's like, "I don't want to open your books." So or open my books to you. So, it's a privacy thing. So I hope this helps somebody out. I'm glad you guys got to witness me hit a milestone over $1,000, and you can really see the snowball. My first dividend was $2.30. Now I just made over $1,400. So again, not financial advice, but I hope you're liking this. And if you want to see more, please subscribe and like this video so I know that it's doing well. And until next time, I really appreciate it.